Hello. It's been a bit. How is everyone? Um, hope everyone's doing okay. Hello, Donut. um, hello, Donut. Hello, Earrings. Congratulations on first Donut. And congratulations on secondaries. Thank you so much for the 45 stream streak. That is insane. 45 stream streak is insane. Thank you so much. Um, Hello, Raven. Hello, Lucius. Welcome. Stop being mean to the bot in the server? No. No, I agree with her. She gotta be more mean, actually. You know what? Thank you for encouraging me. You are so right. In this big bad world, only Aries on my side. Man. Thank you so much for the hydrate, Lucius. I'm assuming it's water, so I'll take water. And thank you so much for the stretch. Oh. And push-ups. Thank you, I guess. Acting all cool and casual about it. I'm not excited. There is a poach to me, actually. I don't know about on your side. Holy shit, the crack you heard. Didn't realize it was audible. Yeah. Also, I've got chips. Have you guys ever eaten chips with chopsticks? Mind-blowing stuff, really. Alright, I suppose I should do my push-ups. Also, as for drinks today, I've got water, obviously, and I've got Monster. I've got Mango Loco. All of which I ordered individually because the big pack hasn't arrived yet. I'm sure it's supposed to be here by tomorrow, but who knows? This I bought individually, just for you guys. Yeah, because I love you and appreciate you and want you to be able to feed me. Monster, feed me, I guess? Is feed me the correct term for this? I don't know. I mean, technically, if you like put a monster and like you put it in like those ice trays and you freeze it, wouldn't you technically be feeding me monster? Like iced monster, like monster, but in ice form is still monster and it's solid. So you can feed me monster, like realistically speaking. I just gotta like freeze it. Monster popsicle. You know what? That sounds so banger. Holy shit, that sounds so banger. Yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta like commit to so many things. I gotta like do so much after I'm done with university because like university holds me back like mentally to the point where it's like, oh, but I've got these other 10 expenses like to take care of. You can't spend too much on this, that, da, da, da. But like with university out of the way, I'll be able to spend like focus more on myself and content, which also means, of course, I'm gonna be spending a good chunk of time putting together my little office that I'm trying to make. little office where I'm wanting to sound treat it too. So outside sound doesn't come in, inside sound doesn't go out, all that nice stuff. Um, that's what I'm trying to do. And where's my bongo cat sleeping? And obviously a lot of expenses are gonna go towards that because it's a huge thing given my living situation, given the state of that room that I'm trying to do that to. Right? It's gonna be a lot of work, but I'm willing to do it. Of course I will be. It's gonna be a lot of expenses too. So like once the initial like set off like big expenses is out of the way. And after that is just like electrical bills, other such like internet bills and all the other such stuff. Um I'll be able to actually invest more into content, which should be very, very good for me. If anybody wants to redeem Monster, by the way, please go ahead. I would appreciate you very, very much. Yeah, let's go with it. If you eat the can, it is. If I'm ever in the same place as you, I would make you monster popsicles. If that doesn't show my appreciation, treat yourself. You did good. Thank you. I haven't done the push-ups yet, but thank you. You know what? I'll do the push-ups first, and then I'll treat myself to monster. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. You know, sometimes you watch people do push ups and you think, oh, that's so easy. And then you do them yourself and you're kind of like passing away. Oh, I could orgasm, bro. Hi, Aries, welcome back. Oh, it's so good. So good. So fucking good. Get his muscles in. Hello, Stefan. Welcome. Have fun reading and streaming. Oh, are you going? Well, thank you so much for dropping by. So we were reading a thing, and we were at the last chapter of it, actually. We were reading a whole last thing. We were reading Borrasca. And for those of you who weren't here, is a story of our main character who moves to a different, smaller town. And giving you the gist of it. You know, he makes friends there, nice and nice and cool. But his sister goes missing, his older sister. Now the sheriffs of the town dismissed us as, oh, she ran away with her boyfriend, probably because they left behind, like she left behind her boyfriend in their hometown. Now through our main character, through his friends, he finds out of this place called Borrasca. And they say It's a place where bad things happen. Um, so that's our first chapter where we find out about what Borrasca is, what people think it is, and according to the, elders, well, elders like the adults in the town, it's just an urban legend. Where Borrasca is supposed to be located is actually just the founders of the little town. That's where they live. And there's actually just no such thing called Borrasca. Now, if I could remember what our second what should we call it? One moment. What our second thing was. Let me tell you actually. And our main character believes that their sister disappeared in Borrasca. Because there were like signs of the sister disappearing there. I'll be sobbing in your DMs if it's bad. Not my fault. But hold on. Some fuck ass reason Reddit is doing this weird fucking thing. If I could make it not do that. Um, what is this password? Me and my creative passwords. I am so funny and smart and amazing. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a joke. It's a joke. Let me see if I can. Let me fix this for you people. Alrighty. Image window capture. Fuck, you mean joke? I mean joke, man. That's what I mean. I think I was very crystal clear when I said what I said. But yes, so the second uh what should we call it? The second chapter is basically them trying to find out more about the entire town's history, about Borrasca. And no. The second chapter is not that. That's like the first chapter. In the first chapter, our main characters are like 10 years old. About. And in our second chapter, it's a bit of a time skip. So they're in high school now. And so the two friends that our main character makes, their names are Kyle and Kimber. And Kyle and Kimber eventually start dating, and all that. Now what happens is since that has already happened so far, Kimber's mother is severely depressed. And Right. Another important detail. The reason our main character moved here is because their father was shifted here for his job, and he works as um a cop, basically. And by the end of this chapter, um Kimber's mother passes away, where she basically takes her own life. And there in the scene of the crime, or in the scene in the place where, she was last existing, she did leave a note, but the cops are actively trying to hide it. Hi, JK. Welcome. Hello, Marcus. Welcome. Don't end this time. I'm not. I'm not. I'm here. I'm not ending this time. Hello, Bonsai. Welcome. This is my favorite. Yeah. We were just doing a quick recap of what happened in the last few chapters. So in our chapter 2, Kimber's mother passes away. Now, chapter 3 is where there is a whole lot of speculation of why Kimber's mother took her own life. I'm gonna phrase this very carefully. Um, and clearly the cops are not helping at all. Now, during the funeral, Kimber, Kyle, and our main character, Sam, they put together this whole plan so that Kimber can sneak into her father's office because the note is with her father and he refuses to show it to her. Um, her father blames Kyle because her mother really did not like Kyle and did not like Kimber and Kyle dating. So he keeps this note hidden from Kimber. Though she knows for sure there is a note, and she also knows that the note has a mention of the Prescotts, who are basically the Prescotts is the family who is like basically they're the founder of this town. So everything that went wrong, they're the ones who know. There was a big like accident in the mines a long time ago. That is, there's also a lot of mystery around like what happened in the mines, the people who died in it, the entire situation. So now, chapter 3 is them trying to figure this thing out, right? Like them putting together this whole plan so that Kimber can sneak into her dad's office and take the note. However, it does not go as planned. And by the end of it, Kimber goes missing and so does her father. Now, not just that, here's a little bit of teeny tiny detail that I should mention. Hello, Kayla. Welcome. Hope you're well. Another detail that I should mention is basically in this place called Borrasca that's somewhere in the mountains. occasionally you will hear this really loud, like metal screeching noise. And according to the urban legend in this town, that means that someone has died there. They got another one. Now, our main character heavily believes that Whitney, who is his older sister, has not ran away but has died. Reason being, she, like, on the day where she went missing, he heard that noise. By the end of chapter 3, both Kyle and Sam have gone to bed by the end of it, and they have tried their best looking for Kimber. They have simply not found her. And they've gone to bed thinking it's okay. She must be somewhere around here. We'll look again tomorrow. However, middle of the night, they're woken up by the screeching, the metal screeching that comes from Borrasca. And Borrasca is like defined or like described as a place where bad things happen. There's no other like description of it other than it's a place where bad things happen, first of all, and second of all, that's where the skinned men are. Um and on the night where, they decided that by the end of chapter 3, they decided it's okay. Um we'll look for her tomorrow. That night they were awoken by the metal screeching. And at that point they realized that they were already too late and that Kimber was gone. And there was nothing that they could do about it anymore. And that's where we left off. That was the end of chapter 3. We will be moving on to chapter 4, which is the last chapter in the series. What are y'all doing over there? Thank you for the pets. I'm tired after moving today. Ooh, good job on moving. Please get some rest, get some water, okay? Get some water, get some rest. Thank you for dropping by. You don't have to stay if you can't, if you're too tired. Get good rest. You did good today. You wanna know what else is long? My 20-inch. My 20 inches. Well, that's pretty long. My love for the vampire. If your love is in your pants, mine is. Thank you so much for the monster. I did not consider what I have said in my beginning. 20 inches. Not bad. Alright. Show me your 20 inches, baby girl. Not for free. But moving on, we will be moving on to part 4. The part 3, I'll read the last paragraph of the part 3. On was the 11th night of our Kimberless existence. I was awoken out of a troubled sleep by the piercing, whirling, screeching sound of death at Borrasca. I cried myself back to sleep to the tortured sounds of Kyle's own agony next door. We had failed her. Kimber was dead. Now, moving on to part 4. I'm trying to avoid I like it here. I'm glad you like it enough to not want to get banned. When I pulled up to his house the next morning, I could tell Kyle had cracked. His skin had taken on a yellowed color and his voice was flat and void of emotion. It's not over yet, Kyle, I said as he dropped into the seat next to me. Yes, it is, Sam, he all but whispered. No, I don't believe that. Kimber's dad is missing too, you know. Maybe it was him instead that was. I couldn't bring myself to say it. We're living in hell, Drisking. It's hell in our own reality. I couldn't disagree. The town I'd grown to love seemed so foreign to me now. Whitney hadn't been an outlier like I thought. Missing people were the norm here, and that would make Jimmy Prescott the king. He's Satan himself. As soon as the words were out of my mouth, Kyle punched the car door, awaking from his dead state with rageful vigor. I'll fucking kill Jimmy Prescott. Where is that motherfucker? You know he's involved in all this, Sam. You know, maybe partially, I said, staring out the window. His dad created the town that bred the shit, but I'm pretty sure the Prescotts are just running drugs. You know, the powder. Yeah, and so what? He's recruiting people to be drug mules or something? Maybe, I agreed for Kyle's sake, though I didn't really believe it. The sound, the great beast machine of Borrasca gave off the distinct stench of death. And though I knew that physically that was impossible, it didn't change my mind about it. The air smelled different after the metallic wailing ended. We drove over to the 4th Street Gourmet Coffee and Bakery and went in to buy our usual provisions of rock stars and monsters. Wait, monster? 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 Oh, monster? No monster? Monster. Wahoo! Thank you. Two. Oh, it's so good. You know, I understand why Mango Loco is one of the popular flavors. Like this shit's bussin'. This is one of the really good flavors, like really good flavors. Oh, so good. It's so fucking good. At least she's happy. I am incredibly happy right now. Why am I so nice to you lately? I think it's because you missed me. As I paid for the 4 packs of cans, I saw Mira waiting on coffee at the end of the bar. I could tell immediately that she was in a good mood, something that I hadn't seen much of since I started working for her. It was probably a good time to tell her I was calling out of work for my 5th day in a row. Hi, Mira, I muttered when I approached. I can't come in again today. I've got some really important. Sam, oh my gosh, how are you? Um, okay, I stuttered. Good, she said brightly. Don't worry about coming in. I'll hold down the fort, and I'm sure I can call. Emmeline if I need help. But really, Sam, what have you been up to lately? What that's so important? My mind blanked. Just as I started to start out some bullshit about helping my dad, Kyle appeared behind me. We're trying to find Borrasca, he said, with all the grav- gravi- gravi- gra- grav- I think I should just like kill myself in game. I love Ben streams. I try my best to be nice. Aww. Well, whatever this word is. Of a eulogy. Ah, yes. Owen told me you'd asked him about that. You know, that's just a story, Sam. That legend has been around since I was a kid. Yeah, well, we're looking for our missing friend, Kimber. We think maybe she's there. I trailed off lamely. Oh, really? I thought I heard the Destaros were saying we're staying with relatives in Maine over the summer. Oh well. Anyway, good luck, boys. Thanks. Kyle's voice was sour, and I knew his patience was thin. When we got back into the car, we each popped open a can of Rockstar and started chugging. I knew better than to ask Kyle if he wanted to smoke, since I was sure he hadn't lit a bowl since before Kimber disappeared. He finished the energy drink in under a minute and crumpled the can in his hand. I don't like your boss, he said. Mira? Why not? I don't know. She's just off. I mean, she has been going through some things. I wasn't going to elaborate any further. Why were you asking her husband about Borrasca anyway? I don't know. I was just making small talk and I thought he might know. He seemed to know a lot of other things. And did he know? No. I took a long gulp of the sour drink and then choked on it when I remembered something Owen had said. Well, actually, yeah. He said, Borrasca. A Borrasca instead of just Borrasca. You know, like it's a thing instead of a place. Kyle lowered his rock star. And is it? Is it what? Is it a thing? I don't know. I've never heard of it. I've googled everything weird about this town, but nothing ever came up. Did you spell it right? I don't know. I shrugged. Do you know how to spell it? No. Also, guys, give me one moment. I think Mom's at the door. Hi, I'm back. Hi, Miss Take and Go. Welcome. Thank you so much for the pets. Um, maybe not. I pulled out my phone. No, fuck Google, Kyle said. We need to talk to Catherine Scanlon. That's what Kimber would say. He was right. Catherine Scanlon may be the most knowledgeable person in town and was probably the right person to ask. I pulled out a 4th Street coffee and prayed she was at her office already. When we parked in front of Drisking Arts and Antiques, I was disappointed to see that the store was dark. Kyle pointed to a small, cheap, open sign hanging in the corner of the door, and I crossed my fingers that it was for Catherine's office. I was relieved to find the door unlocked, and we hurried past all the antiquities and blown glass to the back of the store, where we found an open door and Catherine sitting at her desk. Boys, she stood up when she saw us. You're up quite early for summer break. How did the essay do? Great, I said. Actually, we're here for more help. Personal interest, Kyle added. Catherine raised her eyebrows. Color me impressed. I needed to get right down to it. If by some small chance Kimber was still alive, then every second counted. We're here because we want to know if Borrasca is a thing or a place. Catherine raised her eyebrow. I remember that legend as a kid. I'd actually have to tell you I didn't know if it was for... What? I remember someone explaining to me how to pronounce this, but I forgore. Please explain to me again. Oh, Mom. Everybody says hi to you.
Huh?
Everyone's saying hi to you.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Wyatt. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So it's Wyant. Wyant. Int. There's no N. Wyatt, I guess. It wasn't for Wyatt. He knew so little but about so much. She laughed. A sort of jack of all trades. Anyway, he told me an interesting fact once about Borrasca. It's both. How's moving Castle Row? What do you mean? I leaned over her desk. Well, the term Borrasca is just old, outdated lexicon. The word was used by miners to describe an underperforming mine. A mine, I whispered. Kyle shook his head. We've been looking at mines. So all the mines in Butler County are Borrascas? I asked. Well, generally, it's only the first mine in the system to run dry that's called a Borrasca. Do you know which mine ran dry first in our mining system? Kyle asked from where he stood near the door, repeatedly clenching and unclenching his fists. Not off the top of my head, no, she laughed. I can look, though, and I think I have those records here somewhere. Catherine walked behind her desk and opened a drawer of loose files. It's an odd thing to be interested in for boys your age, but I guess I could be glad you two are so eager to learn, especially over the summer. Yes, ma'am. I'm very eager, said Kyle. Is the Borrasca the first mine that ran out of ore, was that by chance the same one those kids disappeared in? The McCaskies? Oh, no, I don't think so. That particular mine was the Southwest mine and was very close to town. I think it was the one of the last to close, actually. Here we go. This packet should have that information. Catherine had spent far too long moving books around the desk to make room for the stack of papers she had. Kyle and I paced around the room nervously, trying to appear casually interested, while the energy drinks started coursing through our systems. Here we go. The first mine to close was the North Central mine, which was. Yeah, actually, one of the first to open. But where is it? Kyle walked over to the desk and braced his arms on it. Where is that mine? Catherine pulled over a different stack of papers and started to fumble through it. After the longest minute of my life, she had an aha sound and pulled out a large yellowed piece of paper that had been folded into a standard A4 size. She unfolded it on the desk and leaned over to read the markings. I could see from where I was standing near the doorway that it was a map, and I knew we weren't living this office. We weren't leaving this office without it. It says living. I don't know why. Let's see. That mine was further on the mountain, a little harder to get to. See? It was further on the mountain. They seem to be the monster. It was in the mountain. The first one was in the mountains, and that's where the sounds come from. The mountains. Oh, it's so good. So fucking good. And she pointed to a small dot on the map that was at least 4 miles from where we'd been looking. Can we take this? Kyle asked. We'll bring it back. Of course. I'm sure I have copies. Listen, if you boys are going exploring, I'm bringing my dad, I lied. Oh, excellent then. You guys have fun. She yelled at us as we rushed out of the building. We didn't stop to answer her. Fun was far from our minds. It's it, it's so far from where we've been looking. Kyle stuttered. We need to go there now, and we need to get a gun. A gun? Where are we going to get a gun, Kyle? From your dad. He's not going to give us a gun, man. Fine. But let's scout the place first and we'll come back with a gun. That didn't seem like a good idea to me either, but what choice do we have? After studying the map for several minutes, we realized the easiest way to access the mine was still through the West Rim Prescott ore trail. We parked at the trailhead and made the familiar hike down the marked trail and then up the beaten path, realizing that we'd have to travel past Ambercott Fort on the way. And I knew in my heart that we were going the right way. We were walking the same path that so many people before us had on their way to Borrasca. But what had they found there? We passed the treehouse, which was as silent as the morning. We walked on in the woods, further north than we had ever been before, and soon we were flying blind, hiking in the general direction of the dot of the map and hoping we were still on course. Within an hour, I began regretting that we'd come without provisions, emotional and unprepared. By noon, we had been hiking for 4 hours, and it seemed to me that we were lost. I tempered the welling panic with thoughts of Kimber and Whitney and the answers to all the mysteries that had absorbed my life for so many years. Kyle, for his part, said nothing and kept his eyes straight and his mission his priority. And then, just as the sun teetered on the apex of the day, we saw an emptiness through the trees and the hard lines of man-made buildings. Kyle quickened his step and I rushed to keep up. When we finally broke through the tree line, I choked on my own deep breath and fell back against the tree as I looked over the quiet encampment. A large wooden signpost that was almost as long as the entire clearing was still standing near the entrance of the mine. It had to be a century old, and though most of the letters had rotted over the years, from those remaining, I could guess it had once said, Drisking underground mine. What was left, however, was Skin NDMIN. Skinned men. Hello, Ivor. Hi. Called in the abandoned mine type shit. That is. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. That way, Kyle pointed to the north end of the camp. We stepped out of the shadows and into the vulnerability of the clearing. There were several large buildings still standing, and the boarded up entrance to the ore mine was set back in the mountain. We're not getting in there, I whispered. Let's try that building, he said, and pointed towards the one nearby, which was the largest and at least 2 stories tall. We counted to 3 and then ran across the camp to the large wooden doors of the old building. They were cracked open, and when we squeezed inside, I wish I had no I had no doubt. I had no doubts that death was indeed present in Borrasca. We were standing in what I guess was a refinery, and in the middle of the room was a large silver, conically shaped machine. A conveyor belt fed into it, and the room had a sour smell. Even the dirt beneath our feet seemed to have taken on a crimson tint. This is the machine. This is where they take them, I said. This is where people die. Kimber isn't here. Come on. I was only too happy to squeeze back out of the door of the building and tiptoe around the side. We rounded a corner and almost ran into a recently waxed, shiny green truck parked there. This is Jimmy Prescott's truck, I breathed. I know whose truck it is, Kyle growled. We were now on extraordinarily high alert. Kyle dropped to the ground and began to commando crawl around the building. I followed him, waiting to hear a shout or a gunshot, but none came. As we crawled around the back of the building, Kyle turned around to me and put his finger over his lips, then pointed at a 1-story brown building that was only a dozen feet away from us. He got into a crouched position and moved as fast as he could across the gap between the 2 buildings. I did the same. As soon as I reached the wall next to him, Kyle whirled around and put another finger to his lips and then pointed up to a window directly above us. There were noises coming from the inside, and even to me, a 16-year-old virgin, the sound of sex was unmistakable. You could hear an animalistic grunting and the tired, objecting groans of an old mattress. Unable to help myself, I whispered, "What the fuck?" to Kyle. But he was already gone, all caution abandoned, running around the side of the building. I followed him in through the first door we came upon and was hit in the face by an invisible wall of filth and suffering. The smell knocked me back, but Kyle kept running. I followed him in, past crates of ramen noodles, MREs, bottled water, and boxes I had no time to read. Oh, what is happening? What the hell is right, bro? Like, what is this place exactly? Like, why did people disappear then? Clearly it's like a, survival camp of sorts, but wait, is it Whitney and her boyfriend? It's gotta be Whitney and her boyfriend, bro. Oh my god, hi Shri. Hi Benjamin. Have a good stream. Thank you so much, dear. I will. Thank you. I hope you have a good day, or hope you're having a good day. Thank you for dropping by. I crossed another threshold and I was suddenly surrounded by people. So many people. I skidded to a halt and realized I was standing in a sort of dorm. Rows and rows of beds on either side of me with people strapped to them. Some of them wearing dirty rags and some wearing nothing at all. Many seemed to be bloated, and I waited for one to call out to me, but they all remained silent. Some watching me through tired, dead eyes, and others turning away. Looking around, I realized they were all women, and the bloating I saw seemed to be pregnancies. Some were confined to their beds, and others were not. I looked around the room for Kyle and saw him standing a little further in the long room, looking back at me with the same confused, wild expression I was sure was on my face. I saw the realization cross his and called out to him, but he was already running again. I lost him before I'd taken 5 steps to follow. I figured it was probably best to just keep running, spread out, and look for Kimber. I didn't see her in this room, but I was sure she would have called out to us if she was. I looked around for another door and saw one cracked open on the left behind a row of beds. I stared straight at it as I made my way there, desperate to avoid the wretched void eyes of the women around me. First we help Kimber, then we help the others. I will come back and help you all, I promise, as soon as I find Kimber. Without a thought, I pushed the door wide open, and as soon as I reached it and found the source of the noises we'd heard outside, it was Jimmy, something I'd been expecting to see, but the scene before me was not. He was hunched over the bed of an almost unrecognizable, unresponsive Christie, treating her like an animal. She watched me through the slits of her dead eyes, but she didn't call to me for help. I thought I saw a tear run down her cheek before she turned her face away from me to face the wall on the other side. What the fuck? I didn't even realize the words were audible. I'd never seen this depth of human suffering. Jimmy's head snapped around to look at me and briefly registered surprise before he smiled at me in a way that turned my insides to ice. He didn't stop what he was doing, and I wanted nothing more than to run over and push him off of Christie, but to my utter shame, I couldn't force myself to come any further into the room. Sam! Kyle's voice echoed through the building, and it immediately cured me of my paralysis. I found myself running back into the miners' dorm and away from Jimmy Prescott and Christie. Kyle! Back here, hurry, please, I found Kimber. I followed his voice through the maze of beds and rooms as a cacophony of voices began to follow me. Help us, please. There were maybe only a handful of girls yelling at me, but it sounded thunderously loud as it filtered through my guilt. The weight of their misery dropped down upon me, and it almost pushed me into the ground. I'll get help, I'll help you, I promised them as I followed Kyle's voice, still screaming desperately from an adjacent room. I sprinted across another threshold and saw him hunched down near a corner bed, helplessly yanking on a leather strap attached to it. I slammed into the bed and fell to my knees, trying to work out what he was doing and how I could help him. I tried not to look at the bed because I knew I couldn't see her like that. I couldn't bear it. If Kimber looked at me through the same accusing, empty eyes as Christie and the others, I might lay down on the ground beneath her and curl up into a ball. Go around the other side, unbuckle the other 2 straps. Kyle had the high-pitched voice and wild, desperate eyes of madness. I ran around the other side and did as he said with shaking, awkward hands. Oh, boys! Jimmy's voice rang out from somewhere in the building. I had just freed Kimber's ankle and was working on her wrist. She whimpered when she heard him and buried her face in my shoulder. Do you think you're hiding? I know where to find you. I know right where I put that girl. I'll fucking kill you, Prescott, you sick cunt. I'll fucking stomp all your bones and bleed you out, you little motherfucker. Kyle had lost all reason and strategy. He was filled with rage instead of fear, and it scared me even more. I pulled Kimber's wrist from the final strap and yelled, "Go, now." We pulled Kimber off the bed and quickly realized that her legs could barely support her. She was heavily sedated and breathing weakly. We braced her on either side and moved as quickly as we could through the nearest doorway away from Jimmy. We were in another dorm, though this one was filled with mostly empty beds. I could see sunlight shining through the door at the end of the long room, and we raced toward it as Kimber made little cries of pain. I didn't think my heart could break anymore, but I was wrong because in the next moment, it did. I almost dropped Kimber when I saw her staring at me. Her eyes were hollow and uninvested, and when I turned towards her, she looked away immediately as if she couldn't stand the sight of me. "Whitney," I said weakly. "Sam, let's fucking go," Kyle screamed. "I can't." I turned towards him as tears ran down my hot cheeks, and Kyle saw her too. "I can't. I can't stay," Kyle said, still moving toward the door. "I have to get Kimber away from here. Please." But he knew I wasn't going anywhere now. "Good luck, bro," I said, and then we were both running in different directions. Whitney's hair was long, but it was thin, as was her face. Everything on her looked brittle except for her stomach, which bubbled out from her like an overblown balloon. She refused to look at me and flinched at my touch as I tried to desperately unbuckle her from the belt. I hadn't even finished the first belt when I heard Jimmy walk up behind me. I didn't bother to look at him or stop trying to free my sister. I didn't know what else to do. "I admire your grit, kid," Jimmy said, and then sat down on a bed behind me and continued to watch me, giving no objection to what I was doing. "You probably think your friends got away, but there's no sense in false hope, is there? There's no sense in any of this." My voice sounded frail and it cracked over the last word. "You're wrong about that," Jimmy sighed. "But just so you know, I've got Clary out there looking for them already. People making a lot of noise coming down off this mountain. Trust me on that." "Sheriff Clary?" I was desperate to keep him talking. Anything to keep him from trying to stop me. "Oh, yeah. You know, he was supposed to retire from the business, but unlike the previous sheriff, he kept a few horses in the race." "Horses?" Nothing made sense. "Yep." Jimmy slapped the bed next to him. "We call these buildings the stables," he laughed. I dropped the last buckle on the floor and looked down at Whitney. I expected her to spring up and turn towards the door while I went after Prescott, but all she did was rub her wrists and itch her collarbone. Then she put her arms back where they'd been, turned her head away from me, and shut her eyes. I slumped down onto the bed next to her and picked up her cold hand. If she wasn't leaving here, then neither was I. It was over. I sent a silent prayer up to a God I didn't know and wished my friend's safety. "So, this is the cult?" "I'll keep you stream on my second monitor while I play." "Aw, thank you." Straight jerkin implies the existence of gay jerkin. This time, hello, Polka, welcome. The fuck am I listening to? This is called Borrasca, and we're on the 4th chapter. So that's what you're listening to, Shriek. I think this is a cult. This is the only possibility. Do you want to know what this is, Sam? I shrugged. It didn't seem to matter now. "It's all about the babies." I stared down at Whitney and her swollen belly, but gave no indication I was listening. "You wouldn't believe how much money is in the industry. I mean, my dad was a smart man, and he knew we didn't have anything of value to sell, and back then the Prescotts were dirt poor. Out-of-work miners, just like everyone else in town. He first got the idea when he sold my older brother off to pay for the legal fees to fight the city. I mean, some people will pay 5 figures for a newborn, even back then. And the organizations that buy them, well, they buy in bulk. We will still make a killing off them, and our overhead is very low. Oh my god. Jimmy stood up and pulled a gun out of his waistband, then threw it on a bed across the aisle. Try to understand, Sammy. It's not just about the money. We use the stables for community services too. Lots of people in town come to us, ever since the 50s. I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want to be here listening to this. I didn't want to see Whitney so broken, and I didn't want to wait for inevitable death. It was torture in its purest form. What are you waiting for? Why don't you just kill me? This isn't a James Bond movie. I don't care about any of this shit. Jimmy laughed loudly as if it was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. Kill you? Christ, kid, if I could, then I already would. Then I already would have, but I'm not allowed to kill you. I've been trying to decide if I want to. Brother in Christ. I've been trying to decide if I want to fuck your sister right in front of you, though. She's not one of mine, but it might be worth it just to see your face. Just kill me and let her go. Fuck, I'll kill myself if you let her go. I stood up from the bed, and Jimmy took 2 steps towards me and punched me so hard in the face that I fell back down on it. I moaned as I fought the tears and stars behind my eyes. I can't let her go, you little fuck. She's got one of her community babies in her. Grace says she's got another week to go. 2 tops. Jimmy looked down at Whitney and frowned. Bro, I can't do this. I can't do this. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. 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 This is bad. This is so. Ugh. She's been putting out shit babies though. And as soon as this one's out of her, she's got a date with the shiny gentleman. What the fuck does that mean? I yelled at him. A loud ring suddenly filled the room. Jimmy held up a finger and pulled a phone out of his pocket. I gotta take a business call. 2 minutes and we can get back to our conversation. Jimmy walked over to a corner of the room and I desperately started to pull on Whitney. We gotta go. We gotta go, Whit. We can't stay here. She kept her eyes shut and her body lax. Whitney, they're going to kill you. My head whipped toward the door as I heard a truck skid in the dirt just outside of it. Jimmy ended the phone call, and Killian Clary walked in, pushing a limping, bloody Kyle in front of him. Lose something, Prescott? Where's the girl? Couldn't find her. God damn it, Clary, you fucked us. Go back there and find that girl. Jimmy snatched his gun off the bed and shoved it into the back of his waistband. No, listen here, you little shit, Clary growled. I ain't your fucking employee and I don't have all fucking day to play hide and seek in the woods. I'm telling you, she wasn't with him, so I guess if you want to know where she is, you should get it out of him. Clary threw Kyle down on the floor and spit near his feet. Alright, gotta do your fucking job now. Jimmy walked over and without any hesitation kicked Kyle so hard in the ribs, I heard some of them snap inside his chest. I tried to stand up, but I was still dizzy and fighting off the darkness. Where's your girlfriend, Landy? Prescott raised his boot and then stomped down hard on Kyle on Kyle's ankle. He screamed in pain. I can do this all day, kid. Clary sat down on a bed across the aisles and lit a cigarette, watching him passively. Jimmy pulled Kyle to his feet and then punched him hard in the face. A few of Kyle's teeth scattered across the floor. Tell me, you little cunt. Jimmy punched him again in the face and Kyle went limp. You're killing him, I screamed and jumped off the bed, running blindly towards Jimmy in a red rage. Clary stood up and caught me with no effort at all, holding my arms down at my sides. He laughed, cigarette still tucked into the corner of his mouth as it struggled helplessly against his chest. Jimmy had straddled Kyle by now and was rapidly punching him in the face and chest. Kyle was barely conscious and I prayed he'd pass out from the pain. After a full minute of this, Jimmy stood up and rubbed his bloody fists. Last chance, Landy. Fuck you, Kyle said through a wheezing, rattled breath of air. Jimmy spit on him and raised his foot up as high as he could and brought it down on Kyle's face with so much force that I heard his skull break. I sagged in Killian Clary's arms and he dropped me into a puddle at his feet. Jimmy bummed a cigarette off Clary and they stood next to Whitney's bed, watching me cry. Jesus, what a mess. After a few minutes, Clary flicked his cigarette out and pulled out his phone. All right, Sam, take your friend. I couldn't have heard him right. Fuck that little Landy shit ain't leaving here. You want to clean this mess up, Prescott? I stood up and my knees didn't buckle beneath me. I'm not leaving without my sister, I told them. Jimmy laughed. Yes, you are, Clary said. If you want to save your friend's life, he ain't dead. If you want to save your friend's life, he ain't dead yet, Sam, but he will be soon. He tossed his keys at me. The road off this mountain is back what the fuck? Is back by the refinery. I let the keys bounce off me and fall on the floor. Clary swore at me. I knew he was right. I was a coward and I would leave my sister and all others there just so I could get away and save Kyle's life. I picked up the keys and then, without looking at the two men, I picked Kyle up by his shoulders and his head rolled back as if it was no longer attached to his spine. Gosh, fuck, man. Bunk pet time. New item, let's go. Anyways. Hi, Forrest, welcome. Hope you're well. Hi. We're reading a really highly caffeinated for sure. Coffeenated? I'm caffeinated with Monster. I'm gonna turn that a little down. 10, yeah. His face was a collage of pulp and blood, and I struggled to stay calm and breathe as I dragged him out of the building. Clary and Prescott watched me, taking drags of their cigarettes and saying nothing. I knew they were probably lying to me. Kyle would be dead by the time I got down the mountain if he wasn't already. I opened the door to Clary's old Ford and placed Kyle in the front seat, wincing as his head rolled around like a ball on a string. It took me almost an hour to get down the mountain, even though I took the overgrown road at ridiculous speeds and did everything I could to destroy the shocks on the truck. I sped into the hospital's emergency zone and found a medical team waiting inside the door. It was clear that they'd gotten a call to expect me, but they'd already had a crash cart with them and an IV ready to push into Kyle's wrist. I left Clary's truck where it was and spent the next 2 hours in the waiting room, calling my dad over and over again and crying over an architectural design digest magazine. No one came to take a statement from me or ask me any questions. Kyle's mom arrived just before my dad did and started screaming as soon as she saw me. My dad walked in behind her and had a deputy restrain her. He drove me home in silence, but I couldn't take it for long. Is anyone going to file a police report? Does anyone even fucking care what happened? Sam, he didn't turn to look at me. I am doing my best to do damage control on the situation, but if Kyle dies or his parents sue, there's nothing I can do to keep you out of court. You think I did this? I screamed at him. We're not going to tell your mother, alright? She has enough to worry about. Dad, Kimber, it was fucking Prescott and Sheriff Clary. Yes, you arrived at the hospital in Killian's truck. We already talked to them both. I was so frustrated and full of rage that my next words came out a jumbled, stuttering mess that ended in a helpless scream. We pulled up into our driveway and my dad turned off the car and finally turned to look at me as I struggled to catch my breath. Samuel, we will never speak of this again. Do you understand? Are you fucking kidding me, Dad? Kyle might fucking die. I saw Kimber. Enough. If you want this to go away, you will keep your mouth shut about it. Make no statements to anyone, and I'll hire the best lawyer I can afford to clean up your mess. I don't know why you beat your best friend almost to death, and frankly, I don't want to. You. Fuck you. I screamed at him and threw open the door to the cruiser. I ran, then, away from him and the house and my broken wife. He didn't come after me. Not that day or any other. Since everyone in town thought I was a violent thug, no one would let me stay with them when I called around. I eventually went to a motel far outside of town and drained the last of my savings from work paying for the room. I went back to pick up my car from the trailhead, but it was gone and I had hoped it was Kimber who had it and not a tow yard. I read the paper every morning for some mention of Kyle's condition. I saw the Daily's birth announcement about 10 days later. They had just had a son that they named William. The whirling, twirling, shining gentleman lit up the valley with its stench and song of death that night. It was the last time I ever heard of it. I stayed in Drisking long after the money had run out and I was sleeping on the concrete behind the motel. I stayed until Kyle was released from the hospital, a mute, empty-eyed, soulless vegetable. I went to see him once, while only Parker was home, and threatened him until he let me inside the house. When I had assured myself that the Kyle I knew was dead and only his empty husk remained, I left his house and hitchhiked out of town. And after I spent 4 drunken, drug-fueled years in Chicago, I came home one day to find a letter waiting for me. It didn't have to have a return address, but it was postmarked California. I knew it was from her before I'd even picked it up. She'd written so many of my assignments for me that I knew Kimber's handwriting better than my own. It was a letter. The letter. I read it only once, many years ago, until I sat down to transcribe it today. My Kimber, I know you aren't going to understand why we did the things we did. It was all born out of love. At least it started that way. You're everything to me, and you'll always be my daughter. Do you understand? And I'm leaving this world because of what I've done to you, not because of what you are. I don't want you to be upset about what you are, because who you are is beautiful. My dearest, this town has done horrible things, and all of us who live here are guilty. Read this letter and leave this place. I need to tell you all of this. I need to start at the beginning. Somewhere along the way, decades ago, the major population of Driskin became unable to bear children. Most people blame the town for letting the iron ore leak into our water table during the collapsing of our mines. This is the same water table that still provides the town's water today. They were never quite able to fix it, and ore is toxic and exposure causes infertility. The town did, and still does, suffer greatly from its effects. Mira was suffering from it. And this is why the dad didn't want to let Kimber read the thing. Hi, Adam. Welcome. And the Prescotts, they solved the problem that no one could solve. It was an ugly, crass solution, but most people were happy to look away when they were able to raise families again. I'm sorry, that's so loud. You see, they took girls, mostly women from other places, and they impregnated them and gave us their babies. And the town came under the care of Thomas Prescott. I am scared of reading. I'm scared of continuing. When he started to sell some of the babies on the side for a profit to rich couples. And the sheriff, he helped them do this. But then an ugly rumor started that they were selling to human traffickers. And the Prescotts had to offer triple the price for girls. And in town, we began to murmur. But we once again turned the other cheek when the city was suddenly flooded with money because of how well the traffickers paid. People had well-paying jobs again and were proud to call Drisking home. So we said nothing, and those that did were taken to the mountain. Because that is where they do it. There's a place on the mountain where the women are taken. Kimber. Drifters, runaways, and if their parents choose it, sometimes the girls in town are even sold back. They arrange to sell the girls, and they meet them at a tree halfway between our town and their baby mill. Sometimes kids play there now. I think you played there. The Prescotts and the sheriff are the ones who impregnate the girl, and the children are named after them. P children for the Prescotts and K children for the sheriff. And when the women become too sick or too old to deliver profitable babies, they are sent through a giant machine that was used to refine ore, and their bodies are crushed and the blood and skin is stripped away. And what remains of them are their stolen children and the dust of their bones. And all that's left of their bodies is the powder that they spread over the mountains to hide our crimes. The powder is their crushed up bones? I'm telling you this, Kimber, because you are one of those children. Most of your friends are one of those children. People, please get out of Drisking before your father finds this letter. Run away and never come back and never speak of it to anyone. Their industry has deep roots now. The traffickers have lofty connections. Don't tell anyone. Don't keep this letter. Don't look back. I love you. I'm sorry I had to leave you. We all have to answer for our sins, and I'm ready to burn in hell for mine. Love always and forever. Mom. That's not emotional damage, that's emotionally disturbing. You know what? Hold on. Let me see what that last link is at the bottom. Huh? Leads to a Facebook page. Oh, this is the Facebook page of the author. Man. Anyways, whatever. I'm playing nice music. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to do this. Thank you for the comfort monster. Thank you for the drowning. Thank you for the stretch. Can I read something happy for once? All the reading and all that is done on Fridays. So if you want me to read something, if you have any suggestions, you can send it onto my server. You know, the server that you're not in, Shriek. It hurts. It kind of hurts that, you know, someone that you call like your friend is not in your server supporting you. I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking, there's no necessity. But girl, the bones keep cracking. But listen, I'm stiff. Don't take that out of context, please. Yeah, for those of you who are new here, by the way, or aren't, keep track of the servers I'm in. I keep track of the servers that we both share, like, as I do with a lot of my friends. What servers are we in together? Let me see. I see. Hey, visual. You know what? I'm almost like being inspected now, boy. Like, I do this. Pulling up the receipts. You don't even know what receipts I got, buddy. Like, you don't even know what I know. You don't know what I know about you. You don't know how much I've seen. Okay, my model is freaking out again. Come on. Don't do this. I'm to just straight up use my fucking phone torch for direct source because I have a ring light, I just have nowhere to like put it. What did Fridge show you without my consent? You don't even know. He didn't show me anything. I'm joking. Fridge is very respectful. He shares 7 servers. Surely you're not tracking everything I say across all of them. Sure. Surely. Like, surely. You know, don't worry about it, okay? Like, don't think so much. But, what was I saying? I'm gonna reduce the fucking brightness on this. Good God. Oh, that's like the lowest brightness one. But, I don't know anymore, man. Like, my thing is, I'll handle anything. Any amount of, like, disturbing stuff, gore, murder, killing, death, anything. Like, I can handle it to a decent extent. My limit? Can my model stop tweaking out? It's kind of ruining the vibe. And I wonder why it's doing that. I wonder if I restart VTube Studio. I might have to restart VTube Studio. The rest of that you have 11. Give me one moment. Hello, Static Void. Welcome. Hi. I'm just restarting VTube Studio real quick because it's being a pain in the ass. But yeah, it seems like whenever we like lock in and read, we finish in about an hour. Like a full chapter. What the shit was it? Oh god. Aye, get out of my face. Oh god, this ass has been so long. Oh, welcome back. Hi. I don't think it was VTube Studio. I think it's just OBS being annoying. I don't know anymore. But yeah, I can handle any amount of like psychological horror, gore, death, murder, anything to a decent extent. The one thing I can't handle is like women being trafficked or like, you know, sex trafficking, basically. Anything in relation to sexual exploitation. I can't handle. That's like one thing. And I realized this because there was this one movie we were watching for our it was one of the subjects that we were studying in university, right? And we were watching this one movie in class as part of the curriculum. And it's like there's people like getting beaten up and all that shit. But it's like I've watched decently like gory movies before. I've watched like disturbing shit before. Like even for like university, there are some movies that they show that's like bad. You know, from the world wars and all that. It's bad, like gory. And none of it got to me. I was sitting there watching, having a jolly good time watching movie. But that one movie where it was basically talking about like little like girls being trafficked for obviously not good reasons. And that made me sick to my stomach. That was one thing that I was like, I'll handle anything. That I can't handle. Like that is my limit. That is my like threshold. Like after a point. You did manage to get through this one. Yeah, like I had to manage to get through the movie too. But like what I'm saying is there are certain, like, I can handle a lot of things, but there are specific topics that I will never be able to handle. Exclusiveness for 4 days is longer than Venom could ever go for. Yeah? You know, I think that's just the case with you, man. Except I'm bad at handling everything else. So you're not like you can't handle a lot of like disturbing stuff, is what you're saying. So you hate me is what you're saying? No, why would I hate you? I have no reason to hate you. I don't hate you. Hell no. You know, that's understandable. That's understandable. Like, that's normal, I think. But at least in my own case, I am the type of person who will watch, like, you know, true crime. Thank you so much for the follow, Hades Demon 666. Welcome. Hi. How did you find me? Welcome, welcome. But I can watch decently, like, I'm the type of person who watches, thank you for the pets, I'm the type of person who watches, you know, like, true crime videos on YouTube while I eat. And those, out of the numerous that I've watched, there was one that kind of made me stop being like, I'm like, ew. And it was basically talking about, like, someone's, like, a human person's skin being separated from their body. And like it wasn't even that fact, it was just like the way that they like described the texture. It was just that the way that they described the texture, I was like, oh, aye. They were like, it's rubbery and gray. I was like, ugh. And that was like the one time out of all the times that I've watched disturbing shit while eating food that made me like put down my sandwich. I was like, okay, what the fuck. But it's been a few days. Do you remember the one time we were sitting silently and called together after fridge dipped and you made me watch disturbing shit with you? Wait, I think I vaguely remember this. What did I make you watch? Do you remember what it was? She speedran turning you into a victim. Why literally that was the second time I've talked to her. Oh my god, I'm so sorry actually. It's a good introduction to her. No. I'm a good person, please. I did not realize that was the first time. I think it's because I have seen you around so much that I just kind of had a layer of comfort, I guess. What a disturbing event that happened when we were captured. And we're captured on video like a mimic the Mothman shit. Oh, okay, yes. I think I remember this, yes. Now that you mention, I think I remember. Yes. Like paranormal shit. Here I am here sometime one within weeks of me joining or some shit. She has one hell of a way to introduce herself. I guess I do. I guess I do. But hey. In May, she also did victimize me into getting a bongo cat for the first time I ever spoke to her. You see, I do that with a lot of people. Is that I firmly believe in spreading bongo cat propaganda. I still remember the first time I unmuted on call with you. Do you? Wait, what was going on? Tell me. I don't remember any of this. And you don't even invite me anymore. I remember, the thing is, I typically just stay by my, as you can see right now, I typically stay by myself in Bongo Cat. And the times I've tried to invite you, I do invite, actually, what the fuck are you talking about? I do invite you. I invite you, I invite Fridge. Like, I invite people, like, occasionally. And there are times that neither of you join. I invite and you don't join. I'm like, okay, well, they're probably busy doing some other shit. Like, I'm not gonna invite people every single time that I'm on Bongo Cat because there are times where I just don't want too many cats on my screen. Sometimes I just like being alone. But there are times where I do invite you and you don't join. I can legally say that she actually doesn't invite me. I don't invite a lot of people. Here's the thing. I don't invite many people. Typically, I am on my own. I mean, when I was streaming them. No, there were other times too. Like, also in the past few days, I haven't been on my laptop. Like, I've been away. I haven't been at home. So I couldn't invite you because I wasn't on my desk at all. Like, I had nothing. I was just on my phone. Then you join my chat and insisted that I hate you. You know, because you do. I've noticed you've just been kind of dead to the world. That's just me, man. That's not me being away or anything. That's just me as a person. I'm exhausted. I think we're playing Power, so I had to unmute to talk. Oh, nice. That tracks. I 100% believe that. That does sound like something I would do, yes. Because I think a few people had to add me on Steam in order to play Power Wash with me. The thing is, initially I was more open when I was like smaller, right? I was more open to like, you know, let like viewers add me on Steam and you know, allow people to DM me and all that. And there were the rules were a lot less strict at the time. because I didn't have many people, and I was like, yeah, it's just people, it's chill. But with time, I've started to grow more wary of these things. Um, I've started to grow more wary of these things, and I've started to be more like very, 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 and I mean very selective of who I add on Steam or any other places where I have to add people. Who I add on Steam, who I add on Discord, um, who I'm close with. Uh, because parasocialism is one thing, right? On top of which, you also have to be very careful, you know, considering the whole it's like, you know, situation. You can't trust nobody anymore, man. Especially with someone as, like, paranoid as me. Thank you for the pats. Someone as paranoid as me. I said at this point I'd have you anyway, but so I got in early. Yeah, like a few of the people who are on the server who have me added on Discord or in anywhere else, they got in because, and it's an unfair thing, I understand, but they got in because either they were like really early as like viewers, like, you know, the original crowd, or they have done, like, for example, Winter. I have him added on Discord because he has written scripts for me in the past, and we often discuss scripts whenever we do talk. Like, he'll like pitch ideas, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, this is so cool," you know. So it's like, I consider it like for work purposes, even though he's doing it out of his own free will. I consider it like semi-professional to some extent, right? I added you on Discord after I became mod, yeah, and don't add is like because, well, he's my mod. So there's like different reasons why I add certain people or talk to certain people on a daily basis, and then there's some people who are just my friends, even though they're not like content creators. I think you added me very early because I was close with Fridge. I think you may have added me, Shriek, because I am very shy and I don't typically add people first because I don't know, like, I don't understand at what level the friendship is for me to like, or the acquaintanceship is for me to ask them if I can add them. I don't know if I added you. I think you may have added me. That is like more likely to happen because I don't typically add people because I'm scared. So again, like, there are some people who aren't like proper content creators. Accepting a friend request? Oh, then I may have added you. Who knows? Oh, you were chill, I guess. I don't remember who added who. I just am saying that there is a possibility that it may have been you because I don't typically. But if I did, then I don't know. Then maybe you were one of the exceptions. There you go. But yeah, I am typically very shy when it comes to adding people. Oh, did I make a mess? Well, well then. Oh, I'll look into it tomorrow. But you made me add you. Kinda hard to believe it's been over a year. Like, for example, of people who aren't content creators but are still like, I have them added because they're friends. Jackson, our beloved Jackson, our admin. He was a friend. He was someone I became friends with on really early days of like my channel. Zoe and Jackson are actually from the same friend group, by the way. I met them through the same friend group. Okay, I became friends with Jackson, and then later on Zoe joined. So Zoe and Jackson know each other. So Zoe is one of the people that I am friends with because we know each other from a friend group and not because she consumes content or anything. A lot of other people in my DMs list is just people that I know as content creators. Like they make content, I follow them, that whole thing. But yeah. And then you send the Discord when your anniversary thing, and I was like, huh, a year? Yeah, time flies. It really does. But I don't know. There are times where I feel a little confident. I'm like, okay, well, let me add you. Then there are times I'm like, I want to add you so bad, but I can't because I'm scared because I don't know what we are. It may have been one of the times where I felt like really confident. I'm not gonna lie to you. Man, I can't believe we finished the story so quick. It hasn't even been 2 hours. Oh, I forgot to ask everybody in the beginning of the stream, how was everyone's day going? What y'all up to? Also, those of you who don't know, Twitch does this really poopy farty thing where it will count you as a bot if you're lurking for I don't know what reason, but the few ways to combat that is you interact with chat. Typically there's like a redeem called lurker check-in or something along those lines. I've got one. So if you want your view count to be counted, view count to be counted, you could do that, or you could keep the Twitch player itself unmuted, or like, because don't mute the Twitch player because it'll like start counting you as a bot. So keep it at 1 or 2% volume and keep the tab itself muted if you want, and try to refresh them as frequently. I woke up at like noon and then laid in bed until like forever, and then got out of bed like 3 hours ago, but Loki might go to sleep soon. Man, so that was kind of like what my morning looked like. I woke up, went to sleep, woke up, went to sleep, went to sleep, woke up, went to sleep, woke up, and like it just kept going on and on like that until like 2 p.m. Bottom, no, not you. I didn't. What the fuck? VG Studio on my phone crashed? Well, that kept happening for a good while. About a minute. I'll call off for a second there, and then I realize I'm not a bottom. I mean, if you felt called out, like, I think that's a telling sign. I think that's a bit telling, though. Why else would you feel called out by that? I wonder why. You know? Like the entire time we talked this morning, then I texted the seconds I was away and fell asleep. No, not really bottom beaver. I mean, if our local bottom says you give bottom vibes, I'm sorry. I think we gotta believe him. Takes one to know one, you know. I'm not the local bottom. Yes, you are. Could never be a bottom, bro. Why won't the rush come out anyways? Whatever, man. Oh, I like her. I could never be a bottom. I think you could. I think it's easier to imagine you as one than to imagine you as anything else. I'm sorry, that's just the vibe you give. You just give the vibe. And this is why I get called a bottom. Like, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. Nor you imagine me as either. It's a vibe that you give. Everybody gives a vibe. There's a vibe, there's an aura that people carry. You just carry the bottom aura. I'm sorry. Yeah, hella bottom aura, bro. That's what you got. You just give the vibe of a bottom. Interesting. You can't escape or calling you a bottom. I've tried. God knows I've tried. Aura, Zara. Aye. It's okay, you tried and that's what matters, regardless of if you failed or not. Which you did fail, but like, you know, it's okay. It's okay. You tried. I just gave up at this point. You haven't given up. Like, yes, you have given up, but you've also like fed into it. Like, you've actively like done things to like solidify that fact. So I don't know if that's called giving up anymore. I think that's just called encouraging it. So I think they are very different. I feel called out again. Yeah? Is there a reason? You did this by calling me a bottom. I love holding so much power. So fun. Actually just entertaining. But with me complaining about shit. So you're a brat. Okay. Okay, you're like one of those. You're like one of those. Okay. I see, I understand everything now. I understand everything now. I forced you to be nice to me now. Alright. Rika, I hope you know that I'm so proud of you. You're doing so great. And thank you for being cool and nice and sweet and being so supportive and being such a sweetheart sometimes. Thank you, especially for being so easy to bully. I hope you know that you are loved and appreciated, and I'm proud of you. You're so unnecessary. But it's one of your best qualities. Anyway, thank you so much for being so supportive. I hope you know that I care about you and you're amazing and you're great and you're very cute and I want you to know that I'm proud of you and that you're doing great. And you know, there's always those times where you feel like you may not be good enough, or there are times that or situations that make you feel like you're just not maybe living up to what you would like to, I guess. Things don't turn out the way you want them to, basically. I just want you to know that, there are times where you will feel that way. But, there's no, escaping that oftentimes, as harsh as that may be. But eventually, all it takes is a little bit of, knowing your worth, You're not gonna be the same as another person. And it took me a long time to understand that. You're not gonna be the same as another person, but you're gonna be so amazing in your own little special way. And the people say that often, but it sounds cliche, but that's just how it is. And you are great in your own little ways. So I hope you know that you shouldn't feel the need to compare yourself to anyone, be like anybody else. Because you're great exactly the way you are. And I think most of your charm lies in you just being your silly little self. I think that's where most people's charms lie in, It's all cliche shit that you hear, but it's kind of true. And I hope you know that, despite everything, I am proud of you, and you are loved for who you are, for what you are. You are loved and appreciated, and you shouldn't need to feel like you need to be somebody else. Because we all feel that way, but in the end of the day, you're you and they're them. And that's fine. And I'm proud of you. Know that I am so proud of you. You're such a good boy. Alright, there we go. It's been so long since I've done any of this. People don't redeem the love me and praise very, very much. Like they used to, like every stream there was at least one. Like, I'm not complaining, it's fine, I'm just... It's a little... I'm a little rusty. I'll show up next stream again to redeem it again, don't worry, yeah, you need to hear it. And that's fine. I'll tell it to you as many times as you need. But other than that, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I truly don't know what to do. Because we did finish Borrasca, and it has left a deep scar in my poor, fragile heart. Not redeeming these well. Just go eat early for once in your life? Fuck no. The hell? Ew. Early. No, I will do some other stuff that I've been meaning to do for a few days now, but I wasn't able to because, again, I was away from my desk, from my laptop and everything. There's a few things that I wish to do. Trying to see who I can raid out to. The usual message of go to bed later. And you think I'll listen? Aye. Okay. I went to bed the last time you told me to, so you should probably do the same when I tell you to. Well, you did that because you're a bottom. And you like to listen to instructions. What makes you think I'll do it? Like, I think it's within, like, your psychology to, like, follow instructions, so... Hi. Oh, I love playing this game. It's so fun to me. It's fun to me. Just like two bottoms in chat going, okay, shut up, fuck you. Okay, I see how it is. Like, need to go to bed like a bottom would tonight then. I'm sure you will. Like, I'm not even a bottom. Are you sure? I don't think so. I don't think you're very sure when you say that. Like, with the most cursed message, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. I am certain that you will. I believe in you, Donut. What is this person doing? You guys... You guys want to watch Overwatch? Hello, Corn. Hi. It's called a Switch, thank you very much. Yeah. So, like, bottom leaning Switch? Like, 90% bottom, 10% top. I'll talk to you in a few hours, then you'll see. I won't even preface it with anything. It'll just be flashbang. I see. Ovawa. That sounds wrong. Are we rating? Oh, okay. Hello, Ben and Chad. I'm sorry I didn't see the notification for the stream. My phone was dead. That's perfectly okay. I will be rating out soon though because, well, we finished the, whatchamacallit? 60% bottom and 40% top. What do you mean 90-10? Or will lead you to believe otherwise? What do you mean Ben will lead you to believe otherwise? I think you yourself lead people to believe otherwise by like feeding into this whole thing. Not that I'd ever admit to it. Screenshot it, guys. But yeah, here's the thing. I could probably stream for a little more, but I just don't know what to do. I'll not screenshot shit. That's fine, I'll do it. Was this about top and bottom? We're discussing some things of some people. Also, Etienne, aren't you... How old are you? You said you had work you wanted done. Shoot. She shall leave. I do have things I want to, but I also want to stream. I also want to talk to you people, of course. Like, I miss streaming. Especially because I probably won't be streaming next week. Because, again, it's family stuff. Lots of family stuff. There's a possibility that I'll probably not be streaming next week. I'm sorry streams have been so scarce lately. But there is work that needs doing. There is other things that I need to do. It's just, there's so much, man. I'm exhausted, man. I want to stream, but I cannot. We don't want to situation like if you don't stream. Oh, I can, I don't know, man. Found myself will be easier to deal with it. Don't apologize. Each time you did stream, it was so much fun. I'm so glad I joined. Aww. It's just currently we're having a very awkward situation in the family. It's just we're getting roped into things I'm getting roped into things I don't want to be in. It's also like spending time with grandparents because you know they live by themselves. They're lonely people. Um, Spending time with my sister. Um, and I think it would be it would have been a lot easier if I didn't have fucking university. Like I do genuinely believe to a great extent things would be a lot easier if just university like is over, because that takes up so much of my mental energy. I could be wide awake, and the moment I think of like the work I have to do for university, like I could lay down and pass out like immediately. That's just how exhausting it is to even think about. Um, like the mere thought of it will make me just pass out immediately. Lock in for a few months. I'm trying. And with donut on this, and you're getting roped into things you don't want to, the bear give you something in return for it to be worth it. That's not selfish, that sounds, but it's my truth, especially when you've been dealing with uni and stressful shit already in April. So much Murphy, I just need to get over with uni. Like, I think that is like all that I need. I don't think it's that bad that I need to be throwing as big of a tantrum as I am about it. Uni is a part of most people's lives, and people manage a lot of things alongside it. I am simply one of them, and that is okay. But it is, I would be lying if I said it did not take a toll on me to some extent. So, and like it's on that, like that on top of like other like content and stuff. It's I don't know if people understand just how exhausting content can be, networking can be, like this whole shebang can be quite a lot. If you're already not a people person. On top of like maintaining like personal on top of maintaining personal relations and personal friendships with people who don't interact with your content. They're just like your friends. Like your social battery dies really quickly in certain situations like that, right? Hello, why is your name Kush? But hi, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hi. You feel how you feel. Yeah, listen, how you feel is valid. You've had calmer about this and persevere, whereas other people like would have freaked out sooner than stress and exhaustion. I I have my crash outs in private. Teen tantrums for Karens. Again, I have my crash outs in private. I, I'd rather have my crash outs in private. I think it's a little bit pointless to have a crash out and like again, and this is not me discouraging other people from doing it. Like, yes, please talk to your peers and friends. This is just me and my whole unhealthy mindset. But to me, it's like I could be having, let's say, hypothetically, I could be having a bad day, or like I could be having a rough patch. If someone asks like, "How are you doing?" I would probably say like, "Yeah, I'm doing fine, doing okay." Because fuck are you gonna do if I'm not? Like, and essentially, end of the day, like my mood and my mental health and my well-being and my peace is all in my hands. And if I'm not taking active steps to improve my situation, then I have no reason to complain. And like, there's very little people can do, oftentimes. There are times that I will vent, sure, But there are more times than not where me venting is just me being like, okay, what do you think I should do about this situation? Seeking for advice. And now if I'm not seeking for advice, I have no reason to vent nine times out of 10. Because like, how are you gonna help? Like, this is such a personal situation that there's no way to really help. So, and I know exactly, the thing is, self-awareness can be a curse because you could know exactly how to deal with it, what to do about it. You just are, for some reason, for XYZ reason, you're not being able to. Getting uni done, and then the summer you'll be out and have a V Rising server to look. I'm so excited for the V Rising server, dude. So fucking excited. 90% good of surviving from me. Crash outs are okay, helpfully even. Plus, it's like flushing the bad feelings out of your system first so that when it's out, you have more clarity approaching what you gotta deal with. That's another way to look at it, yeah. Getting uni done. I can't wait for uni to be over and then, like, to have, like, finally just get my degree and just have nothing to do with uni ever again. Like, classes and finals will be over probably by June. I don't know when I'll get my, like, proper degree. Um, but I hope it's soon because I don't want to have to see these people again. I'm already making like a mental list of who I'm gonna not reach out to. Like, or at least if they reach out to me, I'd be like, okay, yeah, hi, I guess. But I'm not gonna go out of my way to reach out to them, except for like a few people. Because I'm not gonna lie, these 3 years it's been such an eye-opener, honestly. Like, you find out so many different kinds of people, and it's like, I remember beginning of university when things started going wrong, I was like, man, I didn't know like people like this could exist. Like, I didn't know, like, in this day and age, first of all, and in this at this time of your life, like, you could be this immature. And then the more I went through university, I realized, like, end of the day, all of us we're just kids. Honestly, we're just kids, and some of us just happen to be a little more mature than the rest because of trauma, basically. Um, so I guess some people's childlike whimsy is a little too childlike. Aye. Understandable. It's been tough being consistent with the changes I want to make for myself. Try not to feel like shit about it. Yeah, I understand. I think, another thing that weighs me down a lot, and I think a lot of people can probably relate to this. It's not something that's talked about a lot, but I have realized and I've been told that I am a very exhausted, like emotionally, mentally exhausted and drained individual. And the whole, it's like, obviously in today's day and age, there's already where we have very little time and there's too much to do. There's too much to achieve and not enough time to achieve it. It's like there's almost like a checklist as you start growing up, right? There's like, get a good job, have good interpersonal relations, have a good relationship with your family, have a love life, have a social life, have hobbies that you are good at or are decently interested in, while still having time for other, like, more new things you can learn on the side, while also doing basic self-care like getting enough sleep, hydrating enough. And I think at some point it gets so much that you start chipping away from things that are important just to fulfill other things that are, more socially important, you know? Um, like for example, like you don't eat proper meals or you don't sleep enough because you've got a full-time job, let's say. Um, for a job to be at the next day. While the job is stressing you out, when you tell people like, yeah, my job has been stressing me out, people are like, oh, you should like, you should do things that you like and like that are de-stressing. So let's say you on the weekend you go out with your friends. But when you're with your friends, you listen to half of them and they're like, oh yeah, my girlfriend this, my boyfriend that, my partner this, my marriage that. So now there's the whole like, oh shit, I forgot I also have to keep up with like, I also have to have like a decent like love life. And when you have a love life, you have to obviously give your partner attention and love, right? That's part of it. And when that happens, you realize that like it's difficult to balance between like the job, like the career environment of today's time, while also maintaining interpersonal relationships, while also maintaining your personal mental health, to the point that maintaining your own mental health, your own peace, your own sanity, your own well-being is a chore. And it and here's the thing, so many of these things are so interlinked. You don't have to have a decent love life or have a happy life. Yes, I know, but it's also to consider that oftentimes, let's say if you're actively in a situation with like, let's say your friends, where everyone has something going on, there will be at some point where you feel like there will be a point like throughout the whole thing where you feel like, man, everyone's like, they're like, they've got it figured out. They may not have, but that's how you feel about it. Like, like everyone's got something going on. I'm like the only one. Like, what am I doing wrong? And that leads to self-esteem issues. And it doesn't even have to be like you have to actively look for a relationship or anything. There are times where past things come up. Like, let's say you've had a relationship in the past and something, like for example, I could come across a song that an ex-partner introduced me to, and that listening to that song would make me make me remember everything that happened, right? And so the emotions can come flooding back and they may not leave for a little bit. Now what happens during that time when I'm spiraling is it gets worse and worse and worse, and then worse brain worms start wriggling in your brain. What my basic point is, life has gotten to a point where self-care, self love has become a chore. I don't know how many other people are able to like relate, but along with everything else that I have to do, waking up for university, coming back home, taking a bath, eating properly, hydrating properly, taking a bath, maintaining a bunch of like shit, then working at night, and then still managing to get 8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours at least of sleep, 5 to 8 hours of sleep, and then doing it all over the next day. And just the reason I realized this is because I was stressing so much over how much sleep I was getting at one point. I was stressing so much, like, oh shit, I have to go to bed now, because if I don't go to bed now, I'm not gonna get like at least 5 hours sleep. And like, people say that's good for me, so I should, right? While I'm also like, while I'm in bed, I am spending hours stressing over how much work I have left. Taking care of my sleep schedule became a chore. Getting basic amount of sleep became a chore. And the same happens with like other things, like getting enough food, let's say. Like consuming enough food or proper meals. And this could look different for different people. But the concept remains the same, life has come to a point where if you don't constantly work, if you're not constantly overexerting yourself, there's no more time for self-care, even though it's so heavily preached. But when you try to practice it, it feels exhausting. Self-care has become exhausting rather than relaxing. I don't know how many other people go through this, at least I did, because it's like, I don't have time to take care of myself. And I've seen this manifest in people in different ways. They don't realize it, but in the things they say, the way they live their life, I'm like, they're exhausted of trying to like live up to the social expectation of taking care of yourself. Like everyone's like, oh, you should get this much amount of sleep, this much amount of food, this much amount of this much amount of that for a good, like for maintaining your well-being, and like all keeping up with all of that along with everything else, along with everything that's happening in the world, along with everything that's happening in your like family, in your life, as well as trying to maintain everything, like maintain your mental peace. You think it's not, this shit ain't easy. Like people make it sound like, oh, you just gotta take care of yourself. This shit's fucking difficult. And when I say self-care, I mean like the basic things of like getting enough sleep and all that, right? Basic well practices of like maintaining your well-being has become a chore because there's no more time for it. It's not trauma making people strong and mature, but the way one handles it. So good job being a tough cookie and making this far. Writing off a lot as well. Content creation, you need the same time and easy and very aww. Real ones would understand your exhaustion. I just want you to be alright. Plus I live with her. Bothered by it. Remember, like me from Atlas. You don't have to have a decent love life in order to have a don't do it if you don't have the time, space, or energy for it. Love finds you, especially when you're in a better place. That is, yeah, of course. Like, I'm not saying that it's important to have a love life all the time. I don't have one, and that's okay. I'm not bothered by it. Not even a little bit. Things happen. It's more so just there are certain situations where you can't help but feel it, you know? That's very real, but it's important to take a step back and there's no going wrong with that. You just take your opinion. Yeah, of course. I will now not listen to my own advice. I think you maybe should, because I will beat you the fuck up if you don't, bruh. That's what I should treat myself. For me, food is the first thing that suffers. Yeah. I remember what know what you're saying to some extent. I remember a Tumblr post going, self-care can be you crying at 3 a.m. reminding yourself that you're a good person. How to involve fancy teas or face mask. Self-care is supposed to be helps you instead of no, but not with just self-care, but also making the changes I want for myself. I struggle with languages, so I gotta learn. Hi, Anita's welcome. But yeah, it's like obviously these things manifest in different people in different ways, right? But it's definitely like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm being told by various people, like, take care of yourself, please. You know, drink enough water, get enough sleep, but I don't know how to. And it's to a point where the only reason I do it is to show people that I'm doing it. Not because I get some joy out of it, because I simply just don't. That's also what I mean when I say it feels like a chore, because it doesn't feel like you're doing it for yourself anymore. It feels like you're doing it because everybody asks you to, because it's like an expectation people have from you. Like, yeah, you are supposed to do these things. You know? Don't have to listen to your own wisdom. Probably just me. If my friends aren't single, just be happy for them and start looking at myself like, what's wrong with you? I'm trying to root my self-esteem based on whether or not I'm in a relationship. The prospects of me being in one, what is not rounded by desire. That is very true. Like, I think one of the worst things you can do is like rooting like your self-esteem based off whether or not you're in a relationship. I think that's probably the worst things one of the worst things you can do for your self-esteem. Ay. Insecurity, but good management of it. Because overconfidence is arrogance, and that's bad. But yeah, the whole point is self-care has become something that people do to like come to a point where it's like, I do it because it's an expectation. It's like, yeah, you know, please take care of yourself, and I will. And because I said I will, I have to, because not because I get joy out of it or I feel good when I do it, just because someone wanted me to, someone I care about wanted me to, and it's for them. And that's not me saying that doing favors for other people feels like chores to me. Absolutely not. It's like one of those social, like, I feel like it's one of those social expectations at this point, where it's like, you've got to work hard and you've got to earn a lot, you've got to achieve a lot, while also making sure that you are healthy and happy and satisfied and all that shit. Like, I don't know how to do those two at the same time. You know? So, regardless of whatever happens, one or the other suffers. Promising someone I'll eat or sleep or her doesn't really help me to demoralizes my love for the person pushing me to do it. That I understand. I get that, but it's very different for me. But I'm glad that it helps you though. Like, it's good that it does, and it's good that it motivates you and makes you feel better about doing it. You know, there are people wanting you to get good sleep, but I hope they're not on your case about it too much. Alright, maybe tell them that this feelings to the but no, it's not because people keep nagging me about it. I don't think, at least. It's just it's just life, honestly. Like, I don't think it's anybody nagging or like, because of course people are gonna be like, oh, I hope you slept well, hope you rest well, hope you get enough sleep, I hope you're getting like taking care of yourself. But that is a very normal thing to tell somebody. I tell that to people, of course, because I care about them. But I don't think it's less of people telling me to do it, it's more so just life showing me in various ways how I am unable to prioritize that over other things, let's say. Um and again, people are always going to be like, "Oh no, nothing is above your health." But well, I know nothing's above my health, but if I don't pull an all-nighter for this project, let's say, or for this upload, let's say, I am actively sabotaging my success. And in the situation that I am in, I need to be successful. Otherwise, it'll kind of be a little bad for future me. Care about you? Of course, yes, I know people care about me when they say get some sleep, go to bed. Because I say it to people that I care about, right? I say it to people because I am very motherly, I guess, and like, I like people taking care of themselves. Again, it's just a personal feeling where it's like, it's not people telling me to go to bed or take care of myself that's making me feel like it's a chore. It's just my life making me feel like it's a chore. So rest assured, it's not your fault. It's just this thing we call life. But yeah, I don't know. I went on this rant because I thought I know the feeling. I can't let it part of why I'm a dropout. School wasn't my strong suit, now I'm trying to live even if I feel worried. Yeah. Yeah. Like something I actively worry about, like, oh, I gotta get enough sleep, oh, I gotta work out, oh, I gotta make sure I have enough time to, like, keep my sanity and mental peace. But I also have to make time at the same time. I have to make time for work. I have to gotta make time for friends. I've gotta make time for family. I've gotta make time for everybody I care about. I've gotta make time for university. I've gotta make time for assignments. I've also gotta make time to work on personal projects. So so you see, it it is bound to get exhausting after a point. And that's how life is, I suppose, at the end of the day, especially in the current world situation where prices of everything is increasing. Um, well, you're able to afford less and less and less. I did do your comfort monster, by the way. I'm never gonna miss monster redeem. Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Maurice2002. Welcome, welcome. How did you find me? I've been on camera, Yonder Vampire Cat Girl. We were reading Borrasca. We just finished it today, actually. And right now we are just yapping away a little bit. How did you find me? I'd love to know. Welcome, welcome. Maybe instead of expecting 40 hours, just sleep whenever you feel too tired to function and get whatever hours you can. Rather get one for... Yeah, I think it's important to, like, do what you can and not try too hard. Like... YouTube? Well then, hi. Thank you so much for the follow. I'm glad you're here. However, unfortunately, um, I will probably be wrapping up now. But I'll see what I can do because I don't want to do nothing next week. I'll feel bad if I do nothing. I'll see what I can do. I'll like talk to my sister and all that. I'll see if there's like gaps where I can squeeze in some like maybe Discord events. Whatever happens, I will put it all into a obviously like a schedule, a weekly schedule. Post it everywhere. I'll see. I'll see what I can do because I do want to hang out with you people so bad. But actually some of the main things that I struggle with after streams is like YouTube raids. Because there's hardly ever people that I feel like raiding. And the ones I feel like raiding are like, they don't have raids turned on. Which is a tragedy. Oh. What the helly? There's a way to put everything more. Thank you. Snuck in at the end. Hi, hi. Skin off my teeth. There we go. 10 months of spread. Oh, holy shit. Thank you so much. I think it's been a year since I joined the server. Oh my god. Happy 1 year anniversary in the server. Oh, here's so many more years to come, hopefully. You know? I would hope. Please stay. Please don't leave me. See. I'm going anywhere. I live here, bro. You have to get rid of me. I'll always be around me. The pet donut. Least clingy man ever. The least clingy. Part of the basement somehow. Hell yeah. Ah, I love my people so much, man. Like I don't think I verbally express it enough. Like I genuinely love my community so fucking much. It's like I don't know, man. I don't know. Big happy. Y'all make me big happy. Apes together. Okay, man, whatever. Anyways. 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 Sharing how you've been feeling and reading cool stories in our comments for a good way of showing you appreciate our presence. Of course I appreciate your presence. What the fuck? Say thank you. No. Legally, you can't make me if I say no. Yeah, I'm pulling that card. Thank you for the pets. I wonder if Metal needs. He has me. He has me, and he should be thankful. And I think he's doing great. I think he's doing great. I don't think he needs another one. He has me. I am great. I'm great at my job. I think most times. Hi Chacha, welcome. Hi. My model is tweaking out. I wish I knew why. Yeah, it's tweaking out, and I don't know why. Hope you're doing well. Hi. Say no. This word shot. Because I once go tried to go on strike against Mr. Krabs. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work. I'm just like you cannot force me. Again, legally speaking, you can't force me if I say no. But hi Chacha, hope you're doing well. How are you? We were actually the day you accept a compliment, you have no clue how proud I'm gonna be. Well, we will see when it happens. Just truly a cash is fully built into thank you. I mean, yeah. It's according to my wish and will. You cannot force me. I will do it if I please. And if I don't, I simply will not. But let us raid somebody. This person has been streaming and they are very, very, very small in terms of numbers. So I wish to go support them. I know they are mutual from Twitter. They are doing this little thing. I don't know what it is. It's called viewchat.com. I don't know what that is. So I guess we will go see. There's not a lot of people watching today, so I would like to be able to support them if possible. We leave in. You're so epic and a good friend. What the fuck? You are even more epic and an even better friend, Shacho. Thank you for being here and being supportive. But yeah, if you want, you guys can copy the raid message and try staying for the raid if possible, because it does help other, uh, the people that we're raiding. It helps them with numbers, which, Twitch has been really iffy about these days. So it does help. You don't have to stay throughout their stream if you don't wish to. But at least staying for the raid does indeed, like, help a little. Other than that, if you want to join my Discord server, I've got a Discord server if you would like to join that. Oftentimes we do really cool stuff there. Sometimes I'll drop by voice call, sometimes I'll drop by, the general text channels. Sometimes we do like other shit, like we do karaoke, we do movie nights, music club, community hangouts where we just chat. And what else? Yeah, if you're a content creator, you get a special role that gives you access to special channels. Where oftentimes I send like resources and stuff whenever I come across them on Twitter. And like it's a nice little perk to have. You also get to join my music club. Yeah, music club is there too, which is different from music night, by the way. Those are two different events. We like music around here. But yeah, you also get access to, if you get the content creator role, you get access to the voice channel where I join for open voice call streams. It's a fun time, I promise. Other than that, if you want to check out my other stuff, if you happen to like my voice for whatever fucking reason, I've got a YouTube where I have girlfriend experience audios if you're interested in that. However, if not, that is perfectly okay. I dual stream on YouTube, by the way. So if watching on YouTube is more your thing in terms of streams, you can do it there too. Oh, we're back. So as I was saying, I have a YouTube where I do cool stuff, and I've got a Twitter where I shit post a lot. If you'd like to check that out. Thank you for the pats. I don't know why you're patting me. Nothing happened. People joining now, bro. Hi, Shy, welcome. You broke my stream, bro. You join, and the first thing that happens is my stream fucking breaks. She was in the flow as well. I was genuinely reaching flow state. I hope she noticed, Rebecca. Oh god. Hi, Michaela. Hi. So when is next karaoke gonna happen? Oh god. I do want to do it though. Like, I do want to do karaoke soon. Because the last time we did karaoke, I was sick. So I was genuinely shit. Nobody heard it except for Bonsai. Because I did it right at the end when everybody left. But, yeah, I was so unwell. So my throat was fucked up too. But, Yeah, I need to set up a whole karaoke thing again soon. I might set up like Discord events because the fun thing about Discord events, or at least most of them, is I can do them with my phone. I don't have to worry too much about certain things. So, in general, I'll give you the. We heard nothing. I'll sign again. Like, no, don't cry. It's okay, don't worry too much. I'm not worrying about it, but the thing is, it's been on my mind. Like, I want to do it, which is why I'm talking about it. It's just something that's been on my mind that I've been wanting to do. So, I need to pressure it? Absolutely. I'm not pressuring it, I promise. Um, pressured it. Bye. 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 Actually, I'm taking away your mod rolls. Mod perm's gone. Banned. But, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I've got cool stuff. I've got a Twitter where I shitpost a lot. If you'd ever want to follow that. I've got, I've got all sorts of other things. Like, I've got a Blue Sky, I've got Instagram, I've got Threads, I've got Tumblr, I've got obviously Discord server, as previously mentioned. The place where I'm most active would be Twitter, Discord, Twitch, obviously, YouTube. YouTube, I'm not as active in terms of videos. I need to make the next video, bro. I'm like passing away. But gotta do all that. In which case, oof. But something else I was gonna say. Fuck. But yeah, I've got cool stuff everywhere. Follow me everywhere else. I've also got like oh yeah, I do commissions, by the way. I do voice commissions if you're ever interested in those. I have a commission sheet. If you check my card link, it should be right at the bottom. So if you're ever interested in those, you may feel free to commission me. Or you can send me a DM on like Twitter or something. But yeah, I do commissions. Feel free to check those out if you ever feel like it. I also have a throne, which doesn't have a lot on it, but it exists. I am just putting out the fact that it exists. That is all. The email is there so you look professional. Yes, the email is there so I look professional. That is the whole point of it being there. It's just to look professional. Or sugar baby. Yeah. Anyways, sugar baby time. I said that as that, bro. I said it as that. It's my fault. I need to put more stuff on my throne. It's been like dead. There's basically nothing on it. You are never changing that. I'm never changing that. It's so funny to me. I'm never changing that. But my throne is so dead. Like there's barely anything on it. Like there's just like the stuff that's on there. It's like, yeah, maybe in the distant future, if anybody ever funds for this, I'll get it. One of them is just to like fund for my phone that I'm currently using. That like kind of, because my previous one kind of basically destroyed itself because I accidentally threw it off of a third floor in the mall, which is a complete accident, by the way. Like, it was such a weird situation. It like happened in a flash and I didn't even realize my life flashed before my eyes as it happened. It was a bad day, man. It was such a bad day. Ugh. Yeah, it's like I need to put more shit on my throne. I need to put another great monster on there, bro. I need to put that. I need to there's just dude, there's so many things that I need to put on there actually. It's just that I'm not sure which ones to put. Like what models, what version. Like I need to look things up in order to start putting them on there. So safe to say there's nothing on my throne worth looking at right now. So shy, I did see that question mark. I don't know what that was about, but if it's in regards to my throne, don't look at it. There's nothing on there. But the raid talk was 15 minutes ago. You know what? I'm gonna anyways, I just had to press enter. Anyways, take care of yourselves, guys. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. Not tomorrow, what am I saying? Tomorrow, next week at some point. Join my Discord. Like that is where all my updates go, by the way. That's where all my main updates go. Tomorrow, I'm joking. I lied. I'm sorry. I lied. But like, check, join the Discord because that's where all my main updates go. Let's say if I'm delaying or canceling stream, that's where should be seeing it more crazy. I should. It's just go away. Stop like digging a deeper hole for me, man. Like what are you doing? Stop. You're supposed to be my friend. Anyways, so take care of yourselves. Bye. Drink water, eat food. I love you. But bro, I don't hate anybody. Stop it. Stop it. I would never hate you. Don't. Bye. I'm leaving. Bye.